So without further ado, we're going to kick things off. I just want to confirm, can everyone see my Gnowbe program? Yep. All right. Awesome. Okay. So Gnowbe will be your digital companion for the next 2 days so that you can answer any questions or you can continue to get access to the content. So don't worry about having to take pictures. You know, at a conference, sometimes you like the slide and then you take pictures of the slide and it goes in your photo album. You don't have to do that because all of the content is here. So we invite you to participate, ask questions. And if you ask your questions in Gnowbe, then the speakers and team can answer your questions in Gnowbe and other people can benefit. It will not get lost in the Zoom chat group. But of course, you're welcome to chat and share anytime and anywhere. So, today and tomorrow, we're going to be talking about really exciting topics around enhancing internal mobility, L&D strategies. How do you engage and grow your team inside, whether they're your employees or whether they're adult educators or corporates? Because I know some of you are external trainers, some of you train internally. We'll be talking about AI and micro-learning tomorrow and some of the trends and pitfalls. So we're quite excited. So without further ado, let's just jump right in. So for those of you who are here, you should be in GnowbeCreate Conference. And if you have not already done so, please complete session 1, because a big part of conferences is getting to know each other. And while you know, Hans and Nick and Michael are amazing, we also want you to get to know the other over 100 people that are in this community. So I invite you to introduce yourselves and share photos and then get to know each other. And let's just take a moment to find out what you all thought in session 1 about what topics you're most interested in. So it sounds like we got a lot of votes for micro-learning trends in AI. So we definitely will see you tomorrow. But we also have quite a few for creating a cohesive global remote culture, especially now with blended learning and with multiple locations and work from home and hybrid environments. This is going to become increasingly important as a trend. And then also, how do you really retain employees and how do you develop them, whether they work for you or you are a professor, a trainer, a consultant, or a speaker to an external audience. And some of you that I see your faces are doing both, internal and external. So the same techniques and strategies, how do we leverage that in order to grow the community? So I think that's fantastic. Just to orient everyone on the web. So this icon on your app is the same icon on the web. This is where you will network, and networking is such an important part of conferences. So just because we are not sitting in the same room, drinking coffee and tea together, we still want you to network with each other. So please go into the group board and you see, oh, 140. Okay, it was only 120 something a few minutes ago. So people will continue to join. You'll see the group sharing. Oh, hi, John, nice to meet you. Oh, we need to learn from you. John is great at creating content using AI. So for those of you who want to learn, you should message John. Then you can message John here, okay? So this is how the group board works so that you can continue to stay connected to the community. So I'll just go out of here. And then we have 141 people and they'll continue to join. This is a very interesting photo, David. I don't know what that is, but it's quite interesting. And then of course we have Eleanor and Nick, one of our speakers. So please do introduce yourselves. And for those of you who are competitive, because when we talk about learner motivations and personas, some people are a bit competitive. So you can always view all. And let's see who is at the top of our pre-session, pre-work conference leaderboard. So the top of our leaderboard by Daniel Chua is at 54%. He kind of cheated because he's a speaker, so he's got access to more content. And then Nick is also one of our speakers, and Michael. So of course, our speakers are at the top of the leaderboard, understandably. But of the non-speakers, we have Humadiano, Martin, 15%. Where are you? Please raise your hand or say hi. Congratulations, you're currently at the top of our leaderboard. And so this is how you can get access as you grow. All right. So we're going to start with our panel discussion. And the panel discussion really is about thriving together and how do we do employee growth and global connections. I'm really super excited because we have 3 amazing speakers, and we had a special guest speaker, Hans, who joined us because his story was so inspiring that I said, you must join our panel. And so as we kick things off, how was everyone feeling this morning? You guys ready? Session 2? Everyone ready? Session 2. Okay, let's get into it. Please complete your polls of how you're feeling. Most people are feeling a bit excited and ready to go. We have one person who's tired, but we hope that, we can get you excited. All right. And if you notice, Gnowbe's conferences are not the passive kind where you just sit back and watch a video and go home shopping online. That's not how Gnowbe's experiences work. We want you to participate and be present and join us, because then we can learn together. All right. Oh, more people are excited. Great job. So this is my bio. I shared I'm the founder and CEO. You can also click on any of these links to link with me. I would be delighted to connect with you on LinkedIn and other different platforms as well. But more importantly than me, let's meet Michael. So Michael is from Ciputra out of Indonesia. We have quite a regional and a global panel. So he's an HR general manager. I will not steal his thunder because he'll be sharing a lot about his background in our first session this morning. And he has just done such a fantastic job in the property and the construction industry, helping with human development retention across the generations. So please get to know him better. And there'll be some fun facts that you can learn about him in his session. So I will not share what those fun facts are. Nick is also, he's from Accomplished Asia from Malaysia. And he is a curator for a pretty inspiring program that I had the privilege of participating in. And I didn't get any discounts for being for them using Gnowbe, but it was really quite transformational for me. So he'll be sharing how they do blended learning across regions and create a sense of community among people who are not even employees of a company. Then we have Hans. Hans is from Indonesia, and he does sports psychology, and the stories that he shared. And I'm sharing these with you so you can also contact them after the conference as well. But Hans really shared about how they use psychology, behavior nudging to transform mindsets of an oil and gas client. And I think on average, the weight loss was incredible. So I will not go into details because we'll ask Hans to share more about those details. So without further ado, I'd like to invite Hans, Michael, and Nick to just share a few words of why are you here and why did you choose to invest and spend your time with Create24 today? Maybe Michael, you want to go first?
Yeah, good morning from Indonesia. Thank you. Let me introduce myself. My name is Michael. Thank you for having me today. And I'm very excited to be here today, this morning. Yeah, because I want to share what we have been through with Gnowbe, our journey, and hopefully not also I will share our journey, but I can get feedback from all of you. Yeah, I can get feedback so we can improve, yeah, better in our content making.
Super. Thank you. Thanks, Michael. And Nick?
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Nick, and yeah, for me, I think I attended Create 23 or 22, one of the two, for sure. I remember, and I think and I have been following the different learning programs that Gnowbe has organized. So when something like this came up, where we have a chance to not only share but to learn from each other, it was very easy choice. I'm going to be there. Yeah, so I'm here.
Thanks so much, Nick. And Hans.
Hi, So Young. Yes, hi everyone. I'm excited to share today because I see how Gnowbe has empowered us to do more, especially in the lifestyle modification program that we run in oil and gas clients that we have. So I'm from Corporate Athlete, and also I'm the program director of the Corporate Athlete, and also the co-founder and managing partner of the Sports Tech Consulting Indonesia. We do train people on the physical skills and mental skills training. But with Gnowbe, we can do a lot more, and I'll share more during my talk later. Thank you. So yeah.
Excellent. So we also have a section, of course, for any questions you all have for the panel in session 2. So if you have any questions at all, please do feel free to share those, and then Eleanor and Jit will help us during the Q&A as well. So just to kick things off, we're now working in this virtual and blended environment. And some are in person, some are online, some are back to work. So how do you really think about creating connections and human connections in this virtual blended environment. I'm curious on how this works, as we have represented different countries, different corporate contexts, different organizational sizes. What has your experience been?
Let me start, I guess, and just take us back to 2020. I think that was where, some people say it's a great COVID experiment. I don't think it's an experiment. It was a COVID experience that all of us experienced in some way or another, and where we started to get to realize that, okay, this whole virtual environment, being away, working in different places, but yet working together, is very much here to stay and very much a part of modern life. So I remember at that time, some of the simple ways to create connection, even in a virtual environment, is still remembering that there's still somebody on the other side, and it may not be physically close to you, but they are around. So in 2020, there was the occasional sending of care packages. Things like Grab and Food Panda people were using them to send little things to their colleagues, their co-workers, or their friends, just to maintain that connection, even though you are not physically there. I think that's one way. So just be intentional about creating connections this way. That's one.
I love that. I love that. And I love that it's kind of like the physical and the virtual. You're using the physical. In some ways, when we worked in office, I don't remember getting small gifts from my colleagues when I was working in office. So actually, in a virtual environment, you can create creative ways of creating that. What about for you, Hans? How do you create kind of those connections? And how do you facilitate that even for your clients, because you're training them, right?
Yeah, one of the most challenging part is because some of my clients are actually based on in offshore site, so they cannot really attend any offline session. And one of the experience that we deliver to them in this program is we combine the material they got in the Gnowbe platform, and also with the real day-to-day practice that they have. So it's kind of fun to see them connecting both practices together, because we create the learning materials in a way that enables them to spend 15 minutes a day in the Gnowbe platform and then practice it right away after they finish the learning materials. So I think it's very fun in a way, because we don't just see them learning, but we also see their feedbacks, and we see how they interact with us in many ways, through WhatsApp, through the Gnowbe platform, through the discussions in the materials itself. Yeah, so I think one of the key learning platforms that key learning points that we got through implementing this program is blended learning is actually very possible, but it really depends on what kind of platform that we are using, because it can change the whole scenario.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's very interesting. And maybe just I can ask a follow-on question. It's one of my other questions was, what is the role of technology, to support you? Because, I think there's a lot of fear of technology too. Is the technology going to replace me as a facilitator? And, and I'm curious, how, you talk about technology, you use it, but then what is your role as a trainer with the technology? And are there any examples you can share in that context?
Yeah. One of the things for me as a trainer is it changes the way I approach the learning itself. So in the past, we used to create an offline session, right? So we tend to put every points in the PowerPoints, and then we deliver it right away during the offline sessions. But because we are transforming this learning delivery into what we call as a micro learning and also experiential learning. So we need to think a few steps of the participants, because what we want to achieve here is a competency. So we not only act as a trainer, but also the instructional designer. That's what transforms our learning processes. Yeah. And as a trainer itself, we we need to learn more skills to educate people in a way that we can still deliver the material without reaching any contents, and also maintain the interactivity between participants and also us as a trainer.
I love that. And I think what you're saying is very, very important. It's about the changing, the transforming the mindset of the trainer, of the creator. So pretty much
Yes.
everyone in this conference, it's not about the technology, right? It's about how to change the mindset of ourselves so that we can design and train differently. And I think that's such an important point that often is missed, because sometimes we think technology will solve all of our problems. But if we don't have the mindset to think differently about the content or how we deliver, it doesn't really matter the technology, right? It's not going to solve that problem. So that's a very, very important point. I'm curious, Michael, what about for you? You know, because you work in a large company, right? How do you think about this, about this?
Yeah, for me as a human capital, yeah, I think human is really complex. Okay, so technology cannot replace human. Okay, every day we face a lot of people with different case, different needs. Okay, and maybe technology can help us, but never really solve the problem. So, but technology really help us. Technology help us to do it faster, to research faster, and to deliver the material faster, more effective. But these human things, these feelings, and all of that kind of human needs cannot be replaced by technology. Okay, so we use technology as a platform, so we can be at the same language. Okay, like Gnowbe, when we create modules, sessions in Gnowbe, we want to make sure that all of us has the same understanding. So technology help us do a lot of things for us, but finally we have to involve more. Yeah, I think.
Absolutely. I think that's important. And I think even knowing how to use technology is really important. And I have a question that I was going to ask, and Budianto also already asked it in the group board, but how can you really increase the engagement of learners in the journey and also increase learner understanding? So engagement, and all three of you have different learners. You know, one can be internal employee, one is a professional, working professionals, one is a corporate, right? So actually the three of you represent three different audiences. I'm so curious, how do you engage your learners in the different context? Who wants to start?
I'll go.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Pak Budi has two parts to the question, and I think I'll answer the latter one first, which was the increasing learner understanding about the material. And I think one of the things that we can't stray away from is we have to give space for the reflection to happen, for the internalization to happen, for contextualization to happen, to make it relevant. So that for sure is one thing that we definitely should be doing.
I'm curious, like, how do you measure that?
No, that's the tricky part. So now I think putting in those moments of the pause to reflect, I think it's a given. We're going to do that regardless. But I think the only way to, I mean, the only output that you could see sometimes is whether there's, I guess, whether there's behavior change, whether there's transformation, whether they actually put something into practice later on. Yeah. So, and that measurement could be a little bit more, will be a bit more painful to do. Yeah,
actually, maybe Hans can have a point of view on that, because I think, Hans, you guys have done a great job with measurement as well on engagement and learning, which is Budi's question.
Yeah. So there is some saying that high tech should be high touch, right? So when we are doing something with high technology, we could not avoid that human is still human, and they need interaction and engagement after all. So one of the things that for us, it becomes the primary points that we are targeting is how they interact during the learning journey. Because because our program actually emphasize in lifestyle modification through the stages of change. So we actually bring people through their own transformation journey, and in this case is to be a healthier person. So to share some context, the program that I'm doing in oil and gas company is called the Losing in Weight Challenge, meaning that the title is from them because it's been annually conducted, and the main purpose of this program is to reduce the obesity level of the employees. But this is the first time they run the program with high technology, which is we use Gnowbe as our primary platform, and this is it became the primary challenge for them to acquire this new high technology because every time we are dealing with new technology, of course there will be some obstacles. Perhaps the people who are using it like not used to it yet, and they kind of need to find a way to interact. But after a while, what I see is their engagement really boosts dramatically because they interact within the platform and they discuss about how the learning process is. For example, there are some parts where we ask them to post them doing some exercise, like as little as 1 minute, because we want them to have a very small incremental journey along 91 days. So during that 1 minute exercise, and then they post it, and then like so many people, so many employees that are also joining the program, they compliment each other, they motivate each other. So I think this is the part that not so many platforms can do that, because with high tech we need to be high touch. But how to use high touch when it's they are miles away from each other because they are in offshore site and they cannot really meet those participants in the office, because the program participants that I ran consists of 3 locations. One is in offshore site, another is in onshore site, and another one is in Jakarta in their main office. So they are very they have their own pace, they have their own way of interaction. But through this platform, we can boost the engagement of each participants, especially not just engaging to the technology, but also to the materials being discussed. So I think this is very important because during COVID, as Nick said earlier, we lose touch with each other, right? And it actually makes people a lot more stressed than before, especially because it was such a long period of time in the pandemic. Yeah.
I love that. And could you share, if it's okay, what is the results that you saw after 91? I think you mentioned to me, at least, you did 91 days of
Correct.
daily 15 minutes a day learning about nutrition and then giving them activities and exercises, right? What were the results that you saw among these professionals?
Yeah.
How much weight did they lose?
They lose between 4 to 20 kilograms in 3 months. So within 91 days, their transformation journey actually is pretty good for me. Let me
pretty good for you. It's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, because they don't really usually when we are on diet, we know that there is the word of restriction, right? Like calorie restriction, dietary restriction. But through this program, we don't restrict them to anything. So meaning that actually we build their self-awareness because their self-awareness is far more important to maintain the habit after the program ends. So let me ask the permission to share my screen. Wait a moment,
Yeah. I think it's quite incredible. While you're sharing your screen, I think just the context of the mindset change, I think, was dramatic.
Yeah, right. So this is the result. Like if you see here, the minus here is like the decremental of weight that they are having. So the yellow one here is all the winners. So sometimes we get like 17 kilograms here, 9 kilograms here, like a lot of different results from each participants. But I think the most is I think we got someone that lost 24 here, 24 kilograms here as a comparison. Yeah, this is roughly the results of the program. This one is 16 kilograms and then 13 kilograms.
Wow, it's pretty incredible.
4
I mean,
kilograms. Yeah,
it's pretty incredible, and I think
that's
it's just,
about all.
yeah, in terms of the how you design that behavior change mindset, I think was very transformational. I mean, this is really transformational. So thank you so much for sharing. And you know, and Hans will, if you want to connect with Hans and learn more, I strongly encourage you to connect with him on LinkedIn and message him. He'll be here, I think, throughout the conference, but he will not be doing a breakout session this year. Maybe next year we can get him to do his own session. But I think just maybe to wrap things up, there's a question that Humadiano had for Michael. So Michael, how do you maintain engagement on the same programs such as cybersecurity awareness, others regulated awareness from government? Awareness tends to be, you know, repetition, and repetition sometimes can be boring. So how do you engage people on boring topics? That's a great question.
Yeah, thank you for Humadiano. Yeah. Repetition sometimes make people boring, but not all the times. Okay, so just sometimes. So what we did, we have the session. Okay, we have in Gnowbe, we have actions. Okay, and a lot of things we can do, like reading and then watch video, and then we do some puzzles, we do essay, like later I will show you how we did it. Okay, we have the materials, and then after that we have the video to make you more to make the audience understand more about the materials, and we have the essay about the material, so they have to fill in the blanks, and then we have puzzles. So they do it without they even realize that they repeat the module again and again. So that's how we do it. And I think this is not just for us. This can be in any session.
Yeah, and I think that's actually a great point. It's actually, I think what you're saying, Michael, it's not just about the content. The content could be boring, but you can design it in fun ways by gamifying it, adding interactive elements, puzzles, or other kinds of fun elements. And that's actually similar to what I think Hans and Nick were saying about the instructional design, how you design the content and change the mindset of how you train. If you think it's going to be boring and you design it in a boring way, it will be boring. But if you take the content and design it and say, I want to make it fun and interactive, then as a creator, we can create it in a more fun and engaging way, which I think is an excellent, excellent point. And for those who want to see more specific examples of how Michael does it, I strongly encourage you to attend the first session, the next session coming up at 11:15. So as we wrap up our panel, I want to first of all thank our panelists for such an inspiring, great kickoff for day one. If you have any other questions for the panel, please do ask your questions here. Oh my goodness, who is this amazing team who just did this? This either Eleanor or Jit, thank you so much. They've already added the key points so fast. They just did it while we were talking. And if there's any questions you want to ask, please ask here. Otherwise, you can put NA. And once you click it, you will get a pop-up star rating. We love to get feedback on how you're enjoying the sessions. And if you enjoyed it, then you can just put a 5-star rating and then move on. And we will take a 15-minute break and see you back at 11:15. If you want to get coffee, toilet breaks, and I'm really invite you to come back. And if you want to share, I just added this, is what are your key takeaways? Because we love to learn from each other. So if you want to use the next 10 minutes to reflect also to introduce yourselves in session 1, please take that time because we want to create pauses. And I think similar to what all of our panelists have said, that pausing, reflecting is such an important part of learning as opposed to just listening for the day. So we do invite you to take this pause to reflect on your key takeaways, and sharing is caring. So please share with us because we love to learn from each other. With that, we'll see you back at 11:15.